In the dark of the night, something strange is going on.
You see that movie, Night of the Living Dead?
Sure.
They ship those bodies. Well, say hello.
The dead have risen from the grave.
Mister, there's 100 of those things out there.
How many did you say?
100?
And now the question is, how do we get them back into the ground?
Bert, Frank, we have a little problem.
4 left, 10 right.
That goddamn chemical! It's all over everything! Stupid asshole! Watch your tongue, boy, if you like this job! Like this job!
Brain.
Medical science is back.
And it's a puzzle, because technically, you're not alive.
Why do you eat people?
Not people. Brains.
How do you kill something that's already dead?
Well, how do I know, Fred? I don't know. Let me think.
It's not a bad question, Bert.
In that movie, they destroyed the brain to kill him. Is that what they did?
The brains, right?
Brains. I hit the brain. Oh! Get it off! Get it off! Get it off! Get it off!
The military is nervous.
How was your day?
Usual crap.
The police are confused.
Send more cops.
It worked in the movie! Well, it ain't working now. In the movie line?
It's not a bad question, Bert. It's not a bad question, Bert. It's not a bad question, Bert.
The return of the living dead.
And good morning, everybody. Welcome to 31 Days of Monsters. Today is day 19 and our quest to reach Halloween on October 31st. Today, we're going to talk about the most fun zombie movie ever made, Return of the Living Dead from 1985. This is Dan O'Bannon's first directorial attempt, and he does a great job. There's this has everything you want in a zombie movie. It's got gore, it's got violence, it's got comedy, it's got nudity, it's got everything you need. What I really like about this too is how it connects directly with Night of the Living Dead, as if Night of the Living Dead, that these characters saw that movie just like we did, and they're saying, you know, that it was really based on a true story, and that here's the real story, and then they tie that in with military research, and then the shitstorm happens from there. The effects are great. The Tarman character is really, really effective. I think it's one of the best zombie type makeup jobs, and I'm not sure if it's like a combination of puppeteering or what, but just his body movements and everything is very unique and different, and looks better than anything else in the 80s, coming out of like the Romero films or anything like that. I guess the character of Ernie, who I really well, first let's talk about the cast. We've got Clu Gallagher and James Karen, and Don Calfa as our main characters in this. Each one of them is an amazing character actor. They've been in a million things, and I remember when, but a lot of times you don't know their names from anything. You know, it's like you know the face, but you don't know the name. Don Calfa was a guy I used to see in the 70s all the time because he was always appearing on Barney Miller as you know, some kind of nut that they would arrest and you know, end up at the precinct. And I loved him in Barney Miller. And then when I saw him in this, I'm like, oh wow, that's that guy. And he's awesome in this. Clu Gallagher just kills me in this movie. he's like your everyman, trying to understand what's happening, but he's got a cool factor about him too, which I really like. And James Karen is hysterical in this as the employee, Gallagher's employee at the medical, I guess what's the warehouse, medical waste place, whatever that place is. And him, trying to deal with the situation. He's so funny. I love that in the trailer there, where the guy says, "You watch your mouth if you want to keep this job." Like he wants to keep this shitty job. That was so funny. The Don Calfa character evidently was revealed by O'Bannon in the DVD commentary, that he was an escaped Nazi. And it's funny, I didn't know that until I read about it in prep for the show today. But I had wondered, because when we first meet him and he's, embalming a body, he's got like very Wagnerian German music playing in his ears. And I guess that music is Panzerrollen und Afrika vor, which is the Afrika Korps march song. He also has a picture of Eva Braun on the wall, which I missed. But I did capture, I did notice the gun he carries is a Walther P38, which was like a standard issue pistol during World War II to the Wehrmacht. So they dropped all these clues, and they didn't really expand upon it, and I wonder why. I wonder if that if O'Bannon thought that. Also, he's very comfortable around a crematorium too. So there's all these clues about this guy's past that they drop in this film, and I wonder. They didn't actually. They're sort of oblique. They don't really go anywhere with that, and I wondered if, as they progressed through the storyline, where they decided, well, you know what, maybe we don't want to focus on this here. But I thought it was really cool, little Easter egg stuff to find. Freddy's jacket in the movie, it says "fuck you" on the back. But when they realized that it was going to be on TV too, they had a second jacket that said television version, and they would put that one in it instead. That's pretty funny. Back then you had to think about that, about the stuff airing on TV. And the censors. The other aspect of this that it has that I forgot to list in the Perfect Zombie movie is the stupid teenagers. In this movie, it's 1985, so you've got like these kind of goth punk characters running around doing stupid things in the graveyard. And then, Scream Queen Linnea Quigley spends a good half of the movie, buck naked in this thing. And evidently that nudity caused some problems for the producer, because, when he first, he went on set when they were filming her dance sequence, and she's totally nude, and her privates had, pubic hair, which was pretty standard back in the 80s. And, he says, you can't show that, they won't accept that, so O'Bannon sends her back, gets her all shaved down. Then he sees that and he goes, that's even worse. Now you can see everything, So they had to create a prosthetic for her to cover that area, which is very weird because it still looks like, like a shaved, private area. But for some reason they created some prosthetic there. And I guess that was good enough, only in Hollywood, people, only in Hollywood. Effects are great. Music is fun. This is just a fun zombie movie. There's some things like the zombies can talk in it, like you saw them on the radio, and they're talking and asking to send more EMTs and police, as they're feeding. I love this movie. This is just a fun zombie movie. It's sort of like the polar opposite of Train to Busan. If Train to Busan is a heartrending, realistic portrayal of what the world may be like if zombies really existed, this is the fantasy world, the goofy, let's take it to the top zombie film. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I know I did. is better than a lot of the other ones that we've watched this year. So let's say good morning to everybody. Who is first in this morning? It is Dan Genovese. Good morning. I could use a lot of coffee this morning. All right, go get it, Dan. Next in was Chris Juliano. He says, good morning to Dan. Dr. Mask Retro is in here. Chris Thacker has made his appearance. Rob Fellows and his quote, Bert, Frank, we have a little problem. The great James Karen. Cigar Gangster is here. Fearless Freep. Marcus Kelligrew. Hail all, getting ready for work. Okay. Chris Juliano wants to know if anyone has seen The Last Voyage or Voyage Boff of the Demeter. I haven't seen it yet. I was reluctant to pay and see it at a theater. So I'm just waiting for it to stream somewhere, and I'm going to watch it. I'm encouraged because there's a film coming up called The Last Autopsy of Jane Doe that's on our list. That was directed by the same guy who did The Last Voyage of the Demeter. And The Autopsy of Jane Doe is fantastic. So, that's part of your homework too. You're going to watch that one, and it's really good. It's really good. Hyper Kaiju is here. JP Roca asks, "What's good? Another gym day?" Okay, you get your gym pass. Jake Blues is here. Drew with Comics Elite. He thinks that Return of the Living Dead is the best zombie film ever. Hyper Kaiju loves the cast in this movie. Fearless Freep says, I like this one much more than I thought I would. The naked gal was a bonus. Christopher Palmer says he enjoyed this movie on VHS in the 80s. I think I saw it at the theater. Everybody loves James Karen. We just watched, Julie and I just watched Poltergeist the other night. James Karen is in that. He's the boss of Craig T. Nelson, and he takes him up the hill to show him the next place that they're going to build all this stuff. And he says, nobody's complained until now, when Craig T. Nelson is complaining about the cemetery or the views and the cemetery and all that great stuff. Hyperkaiju says, I've seen this movie many times and never noticed that about Kalfa's character. LOL. Wow. You see, we learn things here on the 31 Days of Monsters. Guy Dorian Sr. is in. Good morning, Guy. Dr. Mask, thank you for pushing my website. Getting colder, stop by and get a Compass Comics beanie at www.compasscomics.com. The practical effects are top-notch. Makes you wonder about today's reliance on CGI. CGI has its place as a tool, but when it becomes completely reliant on it, the human eye and the brain is so precise, it can see very little differences, particularly in the motions of human beings, and that we can tell that these things are CGI. So I love the combination of practical effects and CGI together. In this case, the Tarman practical gives it another otherworldly feeling to him, an unrealistic feeling, which I love. '80s and nudity are like chocolate and peanut butter. Yeah, '70s too. '70s and '80s movies that we thought were kids' movies or movies that our kids could watch when they were born and young in the 90s, we had a real wake-up call. Julie and I are like, oh shit, I forgot about this scene, you know. Ooh, what's this? I got myself the 12-inch Tarman last year. Saw this when it came out. One of the best ever. Seeing the Pathmark guy in a horror was awesome. So many great things here. Who's the Pathmark guy? Was that Don Calfa? The stuff with the half woman talking is quite dark. The concept that they eat brains to ease the pain of being dead. Yeah, that's a great point, Rob. It added another layer to this movie and another layer to kind of zombie lore as well. You know, we'd never seen that in anything else. Tank Ferret says, hail to all of you magnificent bastards. Guy says the acting is great in this. The opening sequence was perfect. When they zoom in on the zombie in the container, the music starts as the rain does. It's perfect. Yeah, and the melting scene is fantastic too, where once the guy in the container is exposed to air and he starts to melt, and then all that. You can just imagine the smell of that stuff coming out that envelops James Karen and the young guy. Pretty nasty. Seventh Voyage of Sinbad doesn't have any nudity in it. That's the one from like 1959. You might be confusing with something else. Unless you're talking about the Cyclops being naked. Oop, there we go. Sorry, Eye of the Tiger, Sinbad. Is that the one with Patrick Wayne? 1977, I think it is. I don't remember any nudity in that. But I'll have to watch it again. All right, I think we got everybody covered here. Hyper Kaiju says, yeah, that is the one with Patrick Wayne. Okay. Yeah, those were fun in the 70s. Those two Sinbad films that they did. I'm surprised they waited so long to do them, to be honest, you know, between Seventh Voyage and the other two. So I don't know why that was. Oh, Jane Seymour in the River. Okay. All right. Rob Fell says, hey, Ghosts passed 186K. Keep it going. Yes, thank you. I want to thank all the new backers that came in yesterday to push us up to that next level. I think we're at 186.2 now, something like that. So we're only 800 away from 187. And we're on path to close this thing out at 200K, which would be phenomenal for independent crowdfunding comics. You know, a rising tide lifts all boats, and what we're doing is we're also sending a message to the corporate purveyors, if you will, publishers, that there's more to it than recycled superhero stories. There's more to the art form of comics and the storytelling, and that there's other genres and great stories to tell out there, and people want them. And I really appreciate everybody who backs the Compass Comics stuff, my little horror universe, if you will, horror, sci-fi, supernatural universe. And I'm just having a ball doing this, and I'm glad that we've found an audience that likes this stuff like I do. I knew it was out there, and they were underserved. So I'm glad everybody, and thankful for everybody that has backed the Ghost, because, you know, that's like the campaign, the little campaign that could. It got shadow banned by Indiegogo, and yet it's the most successful campaign yet. So I think it's really connecting with people. And if you're watching this later and you haven't backed it, the link is pinned to the top, and please do so. Please back it. Let's get ourselves to 200K, where everybody gets the Monster Island, the signed Monster Island mini print. So, oh, and by the way, for those that were interested in the Shinu plushie, they are going to be going up on the Compass Comics website on Halloween. I can't think of a more perfect day to launch that. So mark that down in your calendars. We'll do a live stream to launch it, and everybody will be happy because the Shinus will be back. Hello. All right, gang. Tomorrow, what do we got? We have, we're going backwards in time. We're going to show an oldie but a goodie called Land Unknown, starring Sally Field's stepfather, Jock Mahoney, in a Edgar Rice Burroughs-like film about jungle and dinosaurs that are discovered at the North Pole type of thing. Just a fun 50s monster romp. So if you haven't seen that, you got your marching orders. And so that's what we'll be doing tomorrow. I think I got a couple of questions here. Let me just address these here first. Alice Bowie says they used to show boobs in PG movies in the 80s. Yep. Yeah, one of the times we thought we were perfectly safe, we were going to show Airplane to the girls. And, that's the Abrams brothers, goofy, crazy, funny comedy. And they announced that the plane's going to crash or something. And everybody goes crazy on the plane and everything. And all this chaos is ensuing. And then in front of the camera, this woman, this topless woman, comes right in front of the camera and just starts wiggling her boobs, screaming like this. And my youngest daughter, Mary, at the time, I don't know, she might have been 5, 6, something like that. She just burst out laughing. And we're like, oh, I forgot about that. We thought a PG movie would have been fine. Black Ice is here. Oh, okay. Glad you made it. Internet is out, but I found a way to join. The zombie on the table creeped me out the first time I watched. Also, today is payday, so I'll be back in Ghost of Matacumba Key. Yes. Thank you, Black Ice. And thanks for stopping in. Glad you made it. Dr. Mask says indie no-go. Graham, are you going to try Fund My Comic? Yeah, I'll probably put a campaign up there for something. Give it a whirl. Dennis Shoemate is here. Good morning, Dennis. Congrats on the new book hitting another goal. All right. That's everybody. Thanks again for joining me this morning. It's always a pleasure. Love doing this. I'm glad you guys enjoy watching it. We'll see you tomorrow morning, same bat time, 8 a.m. for Land Unknown. Until then, have a great day, and talk to you then. Bye-bye.